on this this day of festivities, there is something that I got today that I need to show you guys, proving how amazing my wife is. That's right, it's the Stanley Cup Edition. That's the Bruins, it's the Jets. It came with Montreal and Toronto. She bought me 7 other teams. So she would want to be Winnipeg, I would want to be Boston. We're still waiting on, apparently Vancouver is sold out. But I know where to get these on eBay. When I searched on eBay for a table like this, table hockey game like this, I found a bunch of collectibles related to this Stiga set. And I never ordered them because, of course, I didn't have the Stiga set. I'm like, but that doesn't help me. Because when I was a kid, I used to play this all the time. Being an only child, I played it a lot by myself. And it was funny because then, you know, friends of mine would come over and I'd be like, well, how often do you play with people? I'm like, oh, never. And then I'd kill them because I would spend days and days and days playing this and pretending the Canucks were winning the Stanley Cup because, of course, I did. So having this back is nice, and she got it, and she got the stand too, so it'll stand pretty high. So watch for a new series of videos coming. That'll be table hockey between Yvonne and I, potentially with us playing with the kids. 2 versus 2, or however we're going to do it. And yeah, so it was a hockey day. And there's something I don't normally plug books a lot. This is one I got last year. It was published 2 years ago, and of course the NHL's been plugging this "We're 100 years old" thing since about 2014. But depending on who you ask, I mean, they've been plugging this whole 100 years thing for a while. Because it depends where do you mark the first Stanley Cup. It's the first NHL Stanley Cup, but then there's the first Stanley Cup back in 1800s. Like, But today, my wonderful wife gave me this. Official Nhl Hockey Treasures. And if you've been looking at this and hemming and hawing about it and going, well, I don't know if it's worth 35 bucks. Let me go ahead and go through this a little bit. Now, I've only opened one of these packs, but they have these collectible things in here for, I think it's about every 20 years of the league. So this is from the birth of the league. These are souvenirs I haven't looked at yet. Just to give you a feel for what I like with this. Eastern Canada Amateur Hockey Association schedule for 1907-1908. And it shows who played who. And it's got the results in there too. That's fun. Victoria at Shamrock. Shamrock at Montreal. Ottawa at Montreal. And they underlined the winners. Quebec at Shamrock. Montreal at Ottawa. This is great. And Wednesday games were in evenings. I guess the rest were during the afternoon. So when people ask why was that Arenas game played during the afternoon, middle of the week, well, guess what? That's probably where hockey started. I didn't need anybody to tell me that. I just figured it out. Canadian Pacific Railway Company's Telegraph. All messages are received by this company transition. Yada, yada, yada. 11th. From Smith Falls. Congratulations. Proud of you. Long may you remain in Winnipeg. So this is an actual telegraph congratulating Winnipeg on victory from 19... Doesn't have the year. Doesn't have the year. It's in here somewhere. Well, I'm going to go ahead and guess it's before the NHL was formed. National Hockey League Players Contract. Important notice to players, club, and presidents. Wow, this is a players contract. Holy crap. This is the actual players contract. Articles of documents. Joe Hall, City of Brandon, Manitoba. Witnesseth. So they've got like who witnessed it. And there's the actual contract. Like I said, the reason I'm reviewing this is it's a really fun book. And I know there's a bunch of NHL stuff out there right now for 100, and some of it is kind of just a cash grab. This is fun. Souvenir program between Victoria, BC, winners of Western Canada Hockey League, Canadiens of Montreal, the winners of the National Hockey League, season of 1924-25. And they have in here where and advertisements. Stevenson's homemade chocolates. I'm just making sure it shows there's an E at the end, or else I'm in trouble. And then they show you the actual lineups. And they called it the World Series. Yep, they called it the World Series. And then they've got the Victoria Cougars, Western Canadian champions. And then on the back, they have the Western Canadian Hockey League official scoring averages. And it starts with Bill Cook. This is some fantastic stuff. And I say it because there are books. There are books the NHL puts out there that aren't very good. Or are just sort of stuff they've recycled. The Hockey News does it too. When you see a new Hockey News book, make sure you check it out before you buy it. Because they do recycle books. Oh, Gary Bettman has the forward. Oh, can I read this in Bettman's voice? Our year-long 2017 Centennial Celebration commemorates a century of great players, outstanding teams, and landmark arenas. The NHL's grand history spans unforgettable moments, countless thrills, exceptional performances, and the matchless drama of the quest for the Stanley Cup, the most cherished trophy in sports. From the richness of the original six era to the stories of some of our game's most famous families, including the Howes, Orrs, Richards, Espositos, and Sutters, the official NHL Hockey Treasures traces all the elements of our league's development and evolution. In addition to the stories and images, this volume represents a bonus reproduction of documents and artifacts that represent special moments in league history. The official NHL Hockey Treasures takes you back to the inception of our league in 1917. It provides insights into the thoughts and theories of hockey's most successful coaches. It offers a perfect vantage point for our groundbreaking Winter Classic, Heritage Classic, and Stadium Series outdoor games. It outlines the influences that have helped make the NHL the best pro hockey league in the world. As we honor our hockey, as we honor our history, celebrate our present, and look forward to a bright future, the official NHL Hockey Treasures is your personal reference resource for every fascinating detail. I am delighted, on behalf of the National Hockey League, to welcome you to this unique reading experience and enjoy it until 2020 when the next lockout takes place. Thank you so much. It's the player's fault. I may have added that last part. But again, if you forget what's on the one page there, that's pretty fantastic looking. That looks awesome. That's from the All-Star game in LA. There are fantastic pictures in here, fantastic things, and just stuff that, again, you know, you got Lord Stanley's and all about the league before the cup. Part of what I love about the game is learning the history, the rich history of the game, and it is. And while Gary Bettman may speak in broken sentences and makes you kind of want to punch him when he talks, you know, he does lead up the best league in the world as far as I'm concerned. Despite the league's best efforts, it still succeeds. And I really think that books like this are worth buying. And now that we're coming out of 1917, we're going into 1918. Now that we're coming out of 2017, we're going into 2018. I don't know who just said that. I'm looking around for something to blame. I guess I'll blame this ant sitting back here. I just call this Treebeard. I assume this is to just give children nightmares. I'm not sure. It's the eyes, man. The eyes. That's something that as a child, if I'd seen that on a shelf over my bed, I would have been convinced it was going to eat me. So I will blame him for saying it's 1917. I swear to God. I got 5 hours sleep last night, so things happen. But as we head into 2018, you know, looking back to 1917, looking back to that, these books are fantastic, and when they go, they're gone. I look at my collection of NHL hockey yearbooks, and they're hard to find. You have to go on eBay, you have to, you know, do your due diligence and wait for certain ones. And I haven't been able to find certain years of NHL yearbooks from the Hockey News. So if you see this in a bookstore, and if it's all sealed up, I just showed you, it's pretty cool. And it was sealed up in the bookstore I went to. It was sealed up, and I was like, oh, there's got to be good stuff in here. Because it shows you on the back. Gives you an idea on the back of what's in here. And all of the stuff on the back is in here. And it is actually pretty cool. It's worth picking up. It's worth looking at. And as we come out of this centennial, and the NHL has to find its new thing to promote the game in 2018, and I'm not sure what that's going to be. There are certain teams that are not 100 years old yet, and as they hit 100 years old, the NHL can go, yay, look, this is a centennial for X team here. But we'll see, right? So that was fun. This table hockey thing, I think, is going to be fun. The problem is that, as I put it together, the kids in this house don't understand that they have a lot of toys. This is my toy. So when they're, like, you know, playing around with all the rods and whatnot, and there's one player that doesn't turn very well, so it's not... It's put together well. It's a good system, but there's one player on one side and one player on the other who don't turn very well. And the fact it's the center on one team means that until I have that fixed, until I've got the gears turning really well on this center on the one side, I can't play a game on it. Not a full game and not a league game. Because Yvonne are gonna keep track. We do it in a fun way when we play air hockey at Castle Fun Park, and there's a video on my other channel of us playing air hockey at Castle Fun Park. This is going to be fun for us. I was going to do this as part of a live stream tonight, but I realized because it's a toy, the kids aren't going to be just sitting by and watching, and they'll keep yapping at us. They were trying to tell me how to play it. I'm like, no, can't, no. It's cute, and yet it's not. It's aggravating because it's like I know, I had this. I had a game very, very similar to this. The difference too that I'm going to have to realize is goalies turn now. They can actually swat the puck away. The way my table hockey was, the goaltender was on a stick that was faced straight out, and you could just shift him back and forth. He didn't move. He just went back and forth, and that's it. Goalies now, it's different, and it leaves it with one corner that's really, really vulnerable to pucks going in there. They also give you a little, like a little piece you can put in it, like a little netting on the front to make the goal size smaller. That's just ridiculous. I'm not going to play that way. That takes out all of the integrity of a game played with plastic men on a plastic surface. But there will be games, and it'll be fun. And yeah, it is something I look at and I say, well, that'd be fun to play with subscribers. That'd be a fun thing to do. And so it does cross my mind. Thank you guys very much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through and wondering, what's this guy putting up videos on Christmas for? And again, if you see that book that I just showed you guys, and I'll show it again for anybody who didn't write it down, this is worth the money. I don't know how much she paid for it. I know that on the back it's $35 Canadian. I don't know how much it is American if you can find it in the States. But if you can find it to order it, this is pretty fun. And it's a book that 10, 20 years from now I'll still be grabbing, looking through, and refreshing my memory about certain things. So there you go. Thank you guys for watching. You guys being out there makes it worth being in here. And I'll talk to you again soon.